Mr. Chairman, don't like building beautiful architecture. The theme of my paper is the growth of radicalization in Pakistan. Man, as some psychologists told, has no fixed nature. It is a drive of environment, education and training that determine his nature. Prior to the dawn of civilization, man living in caves and jungle was as savage, brute and ferocious as wild beasts. The civilization man grew as human, but still with enormous beastly potential which, like dormant volcano, awaits activation. In a situation of extreme frustration, he learns to be aggressive and seek pleasure in inflicting pain on others and in killing them, as well as subjecting himself to pain and suffering to the extent of enjoying being killed. He ceases to feel, to be afraid, to fear. The history of Pakistan has been the history of the paradoxical phenomena of Islamization and de-Islamization. Islamization generally of the entire Muslim world and particularly of Pakistan has been the war and whoop of the American policy to counter communism and fight the ex-Soviet invader in Afghanistan. With American-sponsored jihadi training camps, a peaceful community, namely Taliban, were surprisingly transformed into ultimate warriors who came to know the Soviet war tactics and learned to counter them. During this phase, America played the role of the emancipator of Afghanistan, when from America and Europe enjoyed absolute freedom to move anywhere in Pakistan, in the tribal area, and even in Afghanistan. It was during this phase of Islamization that the pre-partition curriculum and syllabus known as Dars-e-Nizami of the religious madrasa was mysteriously subjected to the operation of Occam Razor, and books of extremely sophisticated nature on philosophy, logic, mathematics, sciences, mysticism, literature and narrative art were removed. When I asked an American new Muslim, an official in the curriculum wing of the Ministry of Education, namely Yusuf Salam, why these books were removed, he answered saying, "We need hardliners to fight the Soviets in Afghanistan, and these books produce thinkers instead of fighters." I was surprised to hear that. The madrasa were left with its lopsided curriculum consisting collection in textbooks related to the Quran, rote memorization and recital, its text commentary, the Prophet's sayings and practices, Islamic jurisprudence without its in-depth study, a curriculum posited in strict opposition to normative, sociological and empirical sciences. Even prior to this kind of operation, the religious curriculum of madrasa has been stagnant and static in the sense that it has never been revised to include books on philosophy, of history of Islamic civilization, archaeology, architecture and fine arts. In the beginning of this polarization, its implication being dormant were never had. But the cult of Islamization on one hand, and the lure of radicalization and takfir, that is charging one another of infidelity, on the other, unleashed its aftermath of the trial of extremism, violence, and terrorism. According to John Scott Smith's notion of multiple causation, all this may be due to a number of causes as well as the cause and effect of a complex situation. The nature of madrasa's oriented religious curriculum is, however, paradoxical in the sense that it has tremendous moral and psychotherapeutic value and at the same time being lopsided, rigid and static with spatial temporal disorientation and the means of sectarianism, it tends to undo the good it claims to do. Prior to the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan and their involvement in war against the Soviets, Taliban were extremely a peaceful community, so much so that they used to be considered sheep. I will remember my encounter with them during my childhood in a mosque of my native town, Pakistan, Kurm Valley, where they used to come and gather in throngs in a specific month of the year for collecting charity. They would spend the whole night singing poetic portraying in Pashto and dancing to their tunes while tossing their head and jerking their bodies, all this activity in a sitting position in circle around their masters. When I recall that activity going on in a prayer place, it reminds me of the dance of whirling dervishes of the Punya Sufi order of Jalaluddin Rumi, whose monumental poetic work Masnavi was a part of the madrasa curriculum of those days, which regretfully stays removed from the curriculum now. With the collapse of communism and the defeat of the Soviet in Afghanistan, there occurred a sudden change in American geopolitical policy and strategy, with her surprising U-turn from Islamization toward de-Islamization. It was because there was no need for Islam to encounter communism. Arrows which were initially aimed at the ex-communist bloc were now turned toward the world of Islam, capitalizing either on the sway of dictatorial regime therein, though of secular and nationalistic character, such as that of Salam Hussein in Iraq, apprehended to possess nuclear or chemical weapons of mass destruction, or on serious social-political blunders and human rights violation instances such as those of ex-Taliban rule in Afghanistan and their destruction of the Buddha's giant statues in Bamiyan Valley, and what they committed of grave atrocities to the Hazara Shia population therein, as well as to the mixed population, mostly Persian-speaking one in the north of Afghanistan. Finally, it was the mysterious event of September 11 that was made a pretext for a total U-turn in American geopolitical and strategic attitude and behavior toward the world of Islam. And the word of Islam, with it the Taliban, who were one of the most favored class of American social, political and strategic priority, were now apprehended and projected as the greatest threat and danger with their madrasa culture to American security and liberty. And with this, the training camps, which were sponsored by America,